welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, your story titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that she is not going to marry a billionaire? And a shout out to Matt for sending in this story. And guys, this story, let me tell you, it is equally entertaining as it is disturbing of a reflection of the times. All about a father who's 47, he has a 20-year-old daughter in college, and he's become recently aware that she has become fixated and believes that she is going to marry a billionaire. Not a millionaire, not a multi-millionaire, a billionaire, because she, like many young gals of her generation, feel entitled to a lifestyle where she can fly around in private jets, sail around on a yacht, live in a mansion, and we all have to question, what does she bring to the table? Well, anyhow, she's losing her darn mind about this whole thing, and the father, like a good father, gives her a very serious dose of reality, and it is meltdown central. And this guy's like, what the hell is going on here with her, this generation, all that. I'll be an entertaining one to go over here, guys, just showing you, again, a disturbing reflection of the times, what's going on in the mindset of these people. But also, it's pretty darn funny. So it starts off, says here, I'm 47 years old, and I have a bit of a problem. I have a daughter, 20 years old, and my wife is 46. She isn't my daughter's biological mother, but has been in her life since she was 13 years old. Her mother and I divorced when she was 12 due to her alcoholism. Okay, so issues with the mother, so no surprise the daughter has her own issues. For about a year now, my daughter has got into her head that she'll marry a billionaire, and that will be the only way that she can ever be happy in this life. Oh my God. I can only speculate that she got this idea from social media. She's not doing great in school at the moment, and all she talks about is marrying a billionaire. How she thinks that she can meet one, what type of house they'll have, how she'll be in a private jet, etc., etc. You know, the thing is, guys, this isn't like an isolated incident. This happens a lot. And what's interesting is, you know, we're not talking about millionaire or multimillionaire, billionaire. Do the math on how many billionaires are out there. Then you can up the number a little bit in billionaire families, but still. Now I'm fully aware that being a millionaire does not have the purchasing power once did, so the ante's been upped a bit to a billionaire, but still. What does she bring to the table? I mean, I don't hear about her being a model or anything like that. Come on here. This freaking generation. And she's trying to take the steps to make this happen, which has me worried. I found out that she has, for example, spent time at a hotel, lobbies or bars, having drinks, trying to pick up older guys. Sir, accept the fact that your daughter is a delusional gold digger. Now, we can all say, where did this come from? Where was the parenting involved? And stuff like that, but we'll come back to that later. Our guy, at least, is trying. Mind you, we do not come from poverty, and she has never experienced financial insecurity, but we are definitely not billionaires. Well, it's probably likely that net worth, maybe they're millionaire, but they ain't got no private jet or private yachts, and that's what she feels entitled to. My wife has a brother who is very well off, and my daughter has actively tried to get closer to him and his family in pursuit of wealth. It got to the point where she ended up sharing selfies from the family house on social media, and now she's not allowed there anymore due to the violation of their privacy. She has pulled similar stunts with other friends and family who even have a little bit of more of a lavish lifestyle. Sir, you know, it's got to be a tough thing when you, as a parent, and I'm not a parent, so I know what this is like, to have to come to terms, not only is your kid a little screwed up, but also your kid's just a fucking asshole. Really. Because that's who she is. She's a fucking asshole. Superficial, gold-digging asshole. She has tried to message some of my own work associates who are in a more glamorous position at work than I am. And I had to find out from them that they shared what my daughter has been sending them on LinkedIn, out of all the platforms. She's been sending suggestive stuff to them and asking one of them to buy her fancy jewelry. You know, it's bad enough she's doing what she's doing with this guy's wife's brother's family, but now his business associates, that is way out of line. This chick is disturbed. Okay, this goes to a whole new level. She is disturbed. She needs professional help. And we haven't even heard, we haven't gotten to the crazy stuff yet. My daughter is not stupid. She's always done well in school until recently. Her performance is very bad at the moment. She got into a good college and is proficient in multiple languages. She also wrote a book when she was 16 and made it quite successful even then. But something has happened to her that has made her so obsessed with money, and I have no idea what it is. Well, we can all speculate, but a lot of these nincompoops watch TikTok and Instagram and all that, and it's not like they think that everybody has this lifestyle, but that's just what they think they want and deserve. And of course, now the big thing is now we're going to blame the social media platforms for what the kids watch and the kids and the teens reacting to all this. Just a major ruling came out of California this week against Meta and YouTube. Some of you guys probably saw that. Oh, there's going to be appeal after appeal after appeal, but still, it's going to open the floodgates to lawsuits. Where are the parents talking to their kids about the bullshit on social media? Where's the parenting going on? And how about the fact that just sometimes you got a young generation of dumbasses? I mean, I read a study the other day that's shown from what's the word? A source that is definitely more liberal that acknowledges that this generation is dumber than the previous one. Yeah. She's temporarily staying with us for some weeks as she's looking for a new apartment. And for the last few days, the entire thing has had her so depressed that she hasn't gotten out of bed and keeps crying out because she doesn't have a billionaire boyfriend or husband and has to stay in places that are not as glamorous as she likes. She cries like someone has died, and it sounds like intense grief. Every morning we wake up to her sobbing in her room. Again, little asshole. Little petulant, spoiled brat. Really? She's in there. I don't have a billionaire. I don't have a private jet. Fuck you, you little asshole. You can get the fuck out of my house and live in your car, crybaby. Get a fucking life and get some goddamn professional help. I've tried talking to her, and I've tried the loving approach of comforting her. Let's see how far that gets you, Dad. And telling her that one day she'll find someone who loves her as much as I do. That doesn't mean shit. It hasn't been good enough, and she'll say nasty things like, yeah, but he'll probably be broke, so I don't care. I then took a more direct approach and told her that there's only a very tiny fraction of the world's population who are billionaires, and most of them tend to marry each other, or marry already. So the statistical odds of this billionaire romance happening for her are practically zero. There you go. Now you're being a good parent. I mean, I'm going to guess he's tried to be a good parent before. Now watch this. Watch how his wife responds to this directness. Well, my wife, his new wife, thought I was being an asshole for being so direct with her and that I didn't have to ruin it for her like that. She tried defending her by saying that my daughter is still young and that I should allow her to have her fantasies. Oh my God. I'd be smacking if a dude said that. So you women out there watching, you can do some smacks towards his wife there. Allowed to have her fantasies. She's fucking delusional. Well, she deserves her prince. She was a little girl with her marrying a prince one day. Okay, fine, we can deal with that shit. Take her to fucking Disney World and let her look at the castle and have fantasies. She's 20, goddammit. This guy's not an asshole for doing it. The asshole's the fucking wife. This is the problem when you have households where a father tries to give a dose of reality to the kids, raise them right, and the mother takes over because she feels bad and doesn't want the kids to be mad at her that she... Really? But I just don't agree. Everyone can dream, sure, but the fact is he's already violated the boundaries of multiple people, and this situation is getting so on top of her that it's affecting her academic performance, means that something needs to be done. This cannot be healthy in the long term, plus her trying to talk too much older men is just dangerous. And I really worry she's going to end up hurt. So am I the a-hole for this approach? No. That's the best thing you can do is being as direct as possible, regardless of her feelings that are hurt. You're doing her a disservice trying to tell her what your fucking wife is trying to tell her. Are you kidding me? Clearly, women are about their feelings, Don't want to hurt her feelings. That's the problem with this goddamn young generation. Throw in the millennials as well. I'm not saying y'all are like that, but you get my point. A lot are. No, you're not the a-hole. She needs fucking help. Therapy. Some drugs. A little time in the room with the soft walls. Now, next to his little updates here, he says, I've reached out to therapists, and I'm going through my daughter's social media at the moment, which is all public. I'm trying to find any glaring red flags that may put her in danger. Brother, your daughter is a walking, talking, giant red flag, my friend. I'll update later. Again, thank you to everybody for your suggestions, aside from those who just provide a list of ways to marry rich. What happened to love? Question mark. As someone pointed out, yes, love alone doesn't pay the bills, but what is so wrong with looking for a partner that has a stable income doing what they love? That doesn't give her the private jets. That doesn't give her the yacht. That doesn't give her the mansion. She's a superficial, spoiled little petulant child, dude. A-hole. Stability is not only found in riches. Why does this person have to be incredibly rich? Maybe I'm just being a weird old person here, but I'm honestly astounded with this attitude that is so common these days. I feel bad for the TikTok generation. No, don't say that, because then that makes them out to be a bunch of victims. And then they're all going to try to get hire attorneys to sue all the social media companies and say it's their fault. They made me think this is all possible. I don't have a goddamn brain to think that, guess what? The math here is I ain't going to have this lifestyle. And what does this guy's daughter and the other daughters out there that are young think they bring to the table to get that? Really? I have an idea. Why don't they do some fucking work and major in business and learn some entrepreneurial, some traits that can help them and go for it and maybe start their own fucking business. They may not be billionaires. Maybe they can become millionaires. They put their own little gold digger. If they're clever enough to try to do roping these guys, maybe they have enough brain power to, you get my point, guys. Try the entrepreneurial path. Starting something, making something, your own fucking wealth. Nope. I mean, let's be honest. Look at the statistics of the billionaire women in this world. Guess where they got their money? Either inheriting it from their families or through divorcing their husbands. Do the math. You guys look it up and you'll see my point on that one. There are some self-made ones, and good for them, but seriously. Another update. It's been many hours since my initial post, but I'm honestly trying to process everything, and I think writing this will help out. Well, it's Saturday now, and so there's been 0 responses from the medical professionals that I contacted. Well, it's the weekend, dude. No updates there. If my daughter wants to go to therapy, I will 100% support it and pay for it. That will be the best money you ever spent. But what makes you think that she's going to want to go? Because in her mind, there's nothing wrong with her. Speaking of, many people have blamed me for enabling my daughter. Well, you can't blame people out there for at least questioning how you raised her. I am not quite sure how to feel about that yet. Okay, now listen to this. I have paid for her studies, her rent, and travel in case she wants to go abroad to see her cousin, who she's close with, and who I believe is an excellent, wonderful role model. She is a successful woman who I think my daughter should look up to. I do not pay for my daughter's luxuries. Okay, pays for her school, it pays for her rent. I'm guessing probably pays for food and the phone bill and all that. That's a hell of a lot more than a lot of parents pay for, at least when I was growing up. Nowadays, it seems the parents pay for everything for their kids. They're fucking 17 years old and they got fucking luxury cars, and the parents don't have luxury cars. All to be the popular parents with their kids. She asked for me to get her designer things and trips to places like Monaco previously, and I told her she needs to get a job as a tutor or something similar if she wants fancy things, because she needs to understand the value of money. I have, however, bought her luxuries like an iPhone, a tablet, a MacBook, with the condition that she uses them to improve her life, i.e. using them at university to complete assignments. Now she's using them to use her Golddigger tactics to find guys. So I have some things to share now that I may feel maybe relevant. One was I did a thorough check of her TikTok and Instagram. Oh, good heavens. She had multiple profiles, but she always followed herself. So I managed to find those. And yes, she had reposted some alarming content from various female influencers. A lot of them, surprisingly, were rather misogynistic, just packaged in a glamorous way. Lots of women saying things like, a rich man will choose a poor but skinny waitress instead of an overweight CEO. Dad, I have news for you. Yes, a billionaire is going to choose a skinny poor chick who is pretty over an overweight CEO any day of the fucking week. Do you see any rich guys picking up young, overly overweight, masculine G.I. Joe types? No. They're going to have pretty women, at least initially. She had been actively reposting women's shopping hauls which the rich boyfriend's husband got them. Lots of stuff about how men cannot love and how women should look like to get a rich guy. There are some videos she liked to repost in particular where a woman just screams at her camera telling her viewers to wake up and stop dating brokies. Just horrible toxic stuff that will rot your brain. Again, your daughter's a complete fucking moron. She's a poster child of this superficial a-hole generation. That's got to be a tough thing to, accept. She also had posts of her own from expensive restaurants, among other places where I can only assume guys had taken her out on dates. And I don't mean 60 euro steakhouses. I mean restaurants where they serve 11-course meals and cost at least 200 euros per person. As she's not employed, shocker, I know for sure that she's not paying for herself. She also had a post where she explained alarmingly that women who want a handsome guy are trashy because real high value, as she calls it, women go for a man's resources, not his looks. It was absolutely bizarre seeing her talk like that. Well, there you go. That's your daughter, pal. End of freaking story. That is the reality. Well, then there was something even more alarming. Oh, great. She had written a post that implied that she was subscribed to some course that is supposed to make her rich and famous. Some supposed content creator club, and basically, as I understood it, she paid 500 euros out of her savings, the money I had given her, to some Russian creator whose entire online personality revolves around provider men and her glow-up. The 500 euros went to coaching sessions with said creator, where she was teaching my daughter the tricks to make money on social media. It sounded like a giant scam, in all honesty. The woman seemed rather crappy as well, proudly accepting big amounts of money from desperate girls who want to be famous or rich. I got no problem with this because I figure, hey, take those idiots' money. How do I know this? My daughter had several posts about it, and they were all set to public, which is no longer the case as I've asked her to make her social media private, which she thankfully has agreed to. Yeah, the social media that you know about. Anyway, then came the talk with her. Oh boy. I finally spoke to my daughter. I told her that first and foremost, she's an adult and she gets to make her choices. And whatever she does and whoever she dates, it's up to her. That said, I told her that I was concerned about her. I tried to gently ask what kind of guys she goes on dates with, and that of course she doesn't have to tell me. But if she can have an open dialogue with me, I think it would both make us feel better. She did end up admitting that she goes out with much older guys who are between 30 and 60 years old. Oh my God. Imagine that. Older than him, and she's 20 years old. I mean, I'm nobody's surprised here, but welcome to the reality. All because of what they can provide. Do you know how many guys out there could scam young gold diggers like this, pretend they're loaded, have their fun with them, and toss them to the side of the road? As a father, as much as I felt grossed out, I wanted her to feel safe for me, and as anything ever happens, she can come to me. That's actually good on his part. As much as it made him sickened and angered and disgusted and all that, keep a straight face so at least she'll open up to him. That's the only way he's going to help her, if she can be helped. Anyway, I asked her why she's so keen on having a much older rich guy, and what that may bring in her life and she doesn't already have. You're not getting it, Daddy-O. She's a gold digger. She wants that lifestyle to brag and show off and be better than her so-called friends. She just mentioned a private jet, shopping trips, a big house, and I told her that while those things certainly can be fun, it's not worth risking her autonomy and education for that stuff, particularly because the chance that she'll end up with someone that will financially abuse her is quite high. Well, she sort of just thought that she's too smart to be taken advantage of. Go figure. Of course she thinks she's too smart to be taken advantage of. That she knows better because everybody her age knows everything. I brought up a lot of bad things that can happen to her and asked her if she had read anything about e-files. She had not. I told her that there are numerous reports of women and girls ending up in really bad situations and went right over her head as well. Of course. That'll never happen to me, Dad. I then asked why she's been sobbing, as she feels depressed, and she finally broke down in tears again. Shocker. I asked if something had happened as she didn't want to talk to me about, and she said yes. I froze. I thought of the worst that Dad can think of and contemplated to go and grab a baseball bat. More like you should grab a beer. But nope, it was something different. She sobbed for a good 15 minutes without being able to say a word. Oh, for goodness sake. Again, it's like a fucking child. But I patiently waited until she could. She told me around a year ago, she and her best friend snuck to a party together at one of those fancy hotels. Her friend apparently is also into the whole provider man dating trend. They had fun, had some food and drinks there, and according to my daughter, all the men were only into her friend. And a guy that she'd been eyeing the whole night ended up asking for her friend's phone number instead. Ugh, the travesty. Guess they're not friends anymore. This then repeated multiple times over several months, where her friend would get approached instead of her. Then a little later, the girls found out that there was some guy who was a few years older at the university in their program who actually was the son of a multimillionaire. Oh, what a loser. Not a billionaire. Well, I guess they'd have to settle for him. It became a huge fight between my daughter and her friend, where they both began trying to get this guy. This girl, who my daughter thought was her friend, started then spreading nasty rumors about my daughter, and also tried sabotaging her weight loss, as my daughter has always struggled with her weight. I always find it funny when people say they struggle with the weight. No, they struggle with putting the fucking fork down. They struggle with eating too much, and eating garbage, and not getting exercise. Her now former friend, is in a serious relationship with that guy, and as a result, my daughter feels like she was robbed of any potentially good future with him. Notice it doesn't make a difference what he's like. It's all about what he can give her. She also said that she feels so jealous all the time of her friend that it's consuming her. I was a bit confused. That was all. I even asked my daughter multiple times, and this is all that happened, and that no one had ever done anything to her against her consent. But no, that wasn't the case. She went as far to tell me that she's not even active, if you know what I mean. Sure, bullying can be traumatic, but my daughter's reaction still seems indicative of something else. There ain't no way you're getting the whole story, Daddy-o. She wants to continue at university and has told me she will try again to pass some of the courses that she hasn't passed yet, but she doesn't seem to take it as seriously as she probably should. I'd be like, look, pumpkin, I'm paying for your fucking school. You're not going to just try. You're going to pass those classes, and you're going to get off your ass because now you're capable of that. Or you're not going back to school and I'm not wasting any more fucking money on you. So, all in all, I'm not sure where to go from here. My daughter has thankfully agreed to speak to a therapist, so that is good news. That is all for now. Holy freaking crap. That is the reality that is today, and I thank the Lord on high that I never had kids and had to deal with this shit. But for all you parents out there watching this, I'm sure in some way, one way or another, you know somebody, hopefully it's not your kids, that is delusional about what real life is like, what they can have, trying to get people. Maybe you know some gold diggers, I don't know what, but damn. This girl needs some serious professional help. I'm glad she's going to the therapist. Good. But probably the young girl is going to think, I know everything. I'm smarter than the therapist. But at the end of the day, is the therapist really going to talk the gold digger out of her? No. I just don't see it. Maybe they can help give her a dose of reality, but it's not going to change the fact that she'll still want all those things and feel entitled to it. But this is the world we're living in right now. And like I said, this is entertaining, but also disturbing all at the same time. So there you go, guys. For those of you who don't have kids, thank your lucky stars. You're smart enough not to have them. But if you do have kids, here's a warning. Talk to them. They're on social media. Make sure you're aware of what they're doing, what they're looking at, especially if they're kids and teenagers and all, and be talking to them. Do your job as a parent and actually talk to your kids, whether they like it or not, and give them a dose of reality. It's far better that you give them a dose of reality and they don't freaking go nuts like this gal here, delusional craziness, but you helping them, even if you have to hurt their feelings. Again, back to his wife, who's not the daughter's mother, getting mad at it, saying he's the a-hole for basically shattering her dreams. He's being a good parent. And I think being a good parent is not always being popular with your kids. You're going to do what they needs to be done. It's like having a friend who's screwing up, and you know he's screwing up and he's going to be in a lot of trouble, and you tell him the truth, what he doesn't want to hear, because you're a good friend. Yeah, I'll be mad at you. I may not talk to you I may cut you off, but at least you're doing him a favor by that. So this is the world we're in right now, and it's not getting any better, but good for you guys that don't have to deal with this shit. So I'll be curious to see how this turns out. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.